Okay, in this video I am going to show you how to use the Auto Alpha Bake tool that is new to MayaStar 6.2. As you see, I've already opened it up. You can see it's right here. Okay. I will mention that this one here, this texture transfer is grayed out. That is for MayaStar 7.0, which will be released soon. And it allows you to bake textures onto the avatar for many different purposes. But that's not what this video is about. This is for the Alpha Mask Auto Bake. So, okay. So first thing we need to do is we need to choose a location to where we want to save it to. So we're going to go to the desktop, and then we're going to go to, I already made a folder. Looks like I need to do this faster. Lots and lots of stuff on my desktop. There we go. Okay. Okay, say test bake. Okay, so we're going to say test bake. And you can give it a name if you want. If not, it will give the name of the file. Now, the name of this file is saved under, since we haven't saved it yet. This is very important. You want to save this file before you bake it. Otherwise, there could be a problem. It's not really a problem. It's just you won't be able to edit the bake here. So let's save this scene. Let's call it test bake avatar. Okay, so we've saved the scene, and I have a mesh clothing. It doesn't have to be rigged, although this one is. And so what we're going to do is we're going to bake it so that this automatically generates an alpha. Now you can choose different types of image format. You can do a ping, you can do a BMP. Pings are probably the easiest. And then you don't have to have anything selected, I believe. No, you do have to have the top selected. And then you click bake. And you have a choice. You can either bake directly to the SL map, but then then you have to bring it into Photoshop to edit it. So normally what you'd want to do is you'd want to do pelted map. And it's going to bake it. And you can see the progress down here in the lower left hand corner. My computer's running a little bit slower because I'm screen capturing at the same time. Yours will probably run faster, but it depends on your computer. Depends on how much RAM you have, the speed of your processors and graphic card and all that kind of stuff. And we did this because if you're making clothes, unless you're doing a really great job at rigging, you really should be providing an alpha map with all the clothes that you sell. And so we're just trying to make it as easy as possible to make an alpha map. Okay, good. It has been done automatically now. Okay. And we can move this out of the way. I'm just going to move it onto a different screen. Okay. It automatically gives you a tool. Oh, that's right. We need to click Edit Tool. So you click Edit Tool, and what that does is that now allows us to come in here. And I have screen reflection on. That can be good and it can be bad at the same time. It's good that if you, okay, see the dark areas are where it's going to be transparent, and the white areas is where it's going to be not transparent. And so we obviously want to get rid of this, and so you just use your left click on your mouse button and it gets rid of it. And you see it does it on both sides because I have reflections turned on. Like I said, that can be good and that can be bad at the same time, because it can sometimes really as you're like getting close to here, it can kind of, as you're getting close to the edges of the mesh, it can cause things to go weird, and you get places erased that you didn't mean to get erased. So most of the time you'll have that turned off. And if you want a little bit smoother of an edge, you can click there. And this is going to be the color that is applied when you do that, when you hold down the left mouse button. But then you have to do both sides. Okay. Also, if we turn off the nails, you can see you want to get rid of that on the fingers. Now, it would have been a better idea had I just made that invisible to start with. I mean, to hid the toenails and the fingernails and the before I did the bake. Then I wouldn't have to be coming in here and cleaning this up. And if I had it on reflection, I could just do one side and not have to do both sides, because it would have reflected. If I show you here, so you can see it reflects on both sides. So the reflection does come in very handy. Like I said, if I had hidden the feet and the toenails before I did the bake, I wouldn't have to be doing this. Okay, so anywhere where you see the dark area color, you want to get rid of that so that it's not visible, right? So that it's not invisible, I mean, when you make your alpha. Okay, another easier way to do it, or another way to do it, is to select your mesh clothing, come over here to your modeling toolkit, come here to Object, and turn X-ray on and off. And then we come back to the Bake Manager, and we go Edit Tool again. And, oh, I think I didn't have the right, you have to have the body selected. Edit Tool. Okay, so what I did was I clicked here, select the body, not the mesh clothing, and click Edit Tool, and now I can edit. And since I'm doing both sides, you can see that both sides are getting done at once. That does do a lot faster, but you do end up having some trouble. Or sometimes when you go off the body, like say you go here, you get there, sometimes you'll get these. You'll get it doing stuff back here as you're doing that. Now, if you did make a mistake there, all you have to do is hold down the Control key to paint the black in. So if you did mess up a little bit, it's no big deal. Okay, so this is without the Control key being pressed down. So we're just, and you can kind of look down her top to see if there's anything that you should have gotten. You don't want to see any black poking out from different angles. So you just kind of look at the body from different angles. And then of course you want to go along the edge, the very edge of it. Oh, there. That's just from the shadow of her legs when it was baked. So you want to be careful of that area. Okay. Let's clean that up just a little bit. Alrighty. That looks pretty good. And you could then come here, select that top, and turn it off so that you can get a better look. And like I said, you're looking for anything that you shouldn't see any black. Okay, and this is far enough up here where I'm not really going to worry about it, because they'd have to be at a really super low angle like that. Although if you were concerned, you could simply select that and then edit tool. Nope, sorry. Select the body, then edit tool. And then you can come in here and you can get rid of that. Because like I said, you don't want to see any black from different angles. So that if somebody is looking at it, they're not going to see anything. Okay, so that's what you want to do, is you want to kind of look around and see if there's any black color that you can see as the camera is going around. Okay, and then, like I said, we could turn this back on and we could go, okay, let's clean this up a little bit. Select the body, edit tool, and we can go, okay, let's clean this up just a little bit. Now, in my view, that's probably way overkill. As far as that's way overkill. Trying to make sure that even at this really super low angle, that you wouldn't see any black color on there. So I can just hold down the control key and fill this in to where I think it's more reasonable. Because, whoops, see what happened there? As I was going around here, it freaked out and it did that swipe. That's easy enough, just Control Z. I mean, yeah, now I'm holding down just the control key and left mouse clicking and holding down the left mouse button to paint. And that seems much more reasonable. Okay, so what the alpha is going to do is, if you do have any poke through, the skin's going to be invisible. For those who have never done an alpha mask before, it's going to, the black areas are going to be made invisible, so that if there was any poke through on your clothing, the skin is going to be invisible anyway, so you won't see it, so you won't see the poke through. So that looks pretty good. I'm just doing the wrist area just to make sure. Not that it should really make any big difference. Okay, so once you're happy with your alpha mask, then what you do is you come over here and you click Finalize, and it's going to bake it into Second Life UVs. So we say, okay, yes, we want to look at the output folder. And here are our PNGs. Okay. You have lower body PNG 1, lower body PNG 2, upper body PNG 1, upper body PNG 2. These ones that are designated with the number 2, those are for, we haven't implemented it yet, but those are for asymmetrical tattoos. We haven't implemented it yet into the body in Second Life yet, but we probably will in the near future. It will be a second layer of mesh that goes on top of the body to simulate a tattoo layer, and that's what these are here for. So it's already set up for that, but the body has not been set up for it yet. Okay, so now I'm going to start Photoshop. And yeah, I have a very, very, very old version of Photoshop. Okay, so now I am going to select these and just drag them onto Photoshop, my very ancient version of Photoshop. And then I'm going to hit B for brush, and I have over here white is selected. And you want to clean up this area here. Let's go to full screen, because what we're going to do is we're going to be selecting the white area. So hit W for the wand tool, the magic wand selection tool, and then we're just shift selecting these white areas, and I'm going to expand it, the selection, probably about 4 pixels. Okay, and then I'm going to invert the selection and then just hit delete. Okay, and hit Control D to deselect. Now this is ready. I can just Control Save, and this is ready to upload. It doesn't matter what the colors that it has this black outline. That doesn't matter. It's going to be the transparent area is going to be the transparent area on the avatar, and we expanded it for 4 pixels out because right here is the very edge of the UVs. Okay, is the very edge of the UVs. And now, while I've never had a problem just doing this, wand tool, select the black area, hit delete, I've never had a problem with the seam area showing up in Second Life, you know, and theoretically I could be done right then and there. Okay, but there is always a slight chance that let me redo that, since this is right on the border, the UV border here and here, that you might get some transparency on the skin right there. I've never had it happen, but it is possible. So just to play it safe, I'm going to revert back to the way it was. I'm going to hit the B key again just to erase that, so that there's no, because I'm going to be selecting with the W key for the wand tool, I'm going to be selecting the white areas. And if I didn't do that, you would get some area right here where the wrist connects that wasn't selected. Okay, so then I'm going to, again, I'm going to modify it, expand 4 pixels. 2 pixels probably would have been just fine. Then I'm going to invert the selection and then just hit the delete key. And that's all I have to do. Then Control S to save it. And now this texture is ready to be uploaded to Second Life. It is a 10 by 24 texture, so if you really wanted to, you could make it a 512 by 512 and it'd probably work just fine. But again, if you do that, then this border edge is much more likely, if you didn't expand the selection before deleting, it would have had a greater chance of showing some transparency, unless you had expanded the 4 pixels and then deleted. So I could probably make this a 512 by 512 and it would probably work just fine, but it's up to you. But this one is done, so I'm going to do it on this one now. And this one here, again, remember how we deleted the we did the toenails? We made sure that we painted over to get rid of the black. See, there's a little bit of a shadow type here. So if we be on the B key, this probably wouldn't matter. It's so light that it wouldn't have mattered. And so now I know what you're saying. Well, why did you just select the black and contracted it? Modify, contract for, we'll do 2 pixels. See, now the problem that you have here now is, you can't see it in full screen mode, is it contracts even on the very border. It contracts inward. Oh, I guess maybe it didn't. I thought it did. Let's undo that. Let's contract it by select, modify, contract 4 pixels. Oh, it did. Okay. I thought it was going to contract from the border edge inward 4 pixels too, but it didn't. So we could just do that. And this one, again, it's ready to upload. If you really didn't like the black outline of it, you could come in here to adjust brightness and contrast, and then just turn that up like that, and go OK, and click Save. Okay, so now I'm going to go over to Second Life. So I'm going to pause it. Okay, so here we are in Second Life. I'm wearing the halter top. So to make an alpha mask, if you've never made one before, it's pretty easy. You go to Build, Upload, Image, and then you need to navigate to where you saved your thing, so we know it's on the desktop. Let's see, Video Alpha Bake, Texture Bake. Is it this one? Texture Bake Transfer. There it is. Okay. Now, because we know, let's come back here to, there we go. Oh, does this has to be this big? I guess it does. We know that we're going to upload the top one. Okay, this one. We only have to upload this one because we know that the shirt, the top that I'm wearing doesn't go down below the belly button, doesn't go down below the waist. Basically right here in this particular mesh is right where the two, God dang it, I hate it when the camera freaks out, is right here is where the upper and lower body connect. So we know it doesn't come anywhere near down here, so we know we don't have to upload the lower body one. So so we can say, we can name this halter top alpha mask. Athletic. Okay, just so that we know which body it's for. It may work for the curvy as well. Let me double click it. Okay, So to make an alpha, it's really easy. Now in my particular mesh here, I'm not wearing an alpha. Let me move this out of the way a bit. I'm not wearing an alpha. I made sure when I rigged this mesh top that it didn't need one. I took a lot of, I did a very good job and took my time rigging this so that it wouldn't need an alpha. But it took extra time to do that. And then sometimes, no matter what you do, you get some poke through. So what you do is you come over here to clothing, right? And you right mouse click on clothing and new clothes. And you want to come down over here to alpha mask. Okay. And here's the new alpha mask there. And then you rename it. I'm going to rename this halter top alpha for athletic. Okay, so we have that. So then once you've created the alpha mask, you add it or wear it. Click add. Okay. And you can see it's baking. And then once you're wearing it, you can right mouse click on it and click edit. And now we can drag our upper body onto the upper body alpha. Okay. And so you don't want to make any of these. You want to leave the rest of these solid so that they're visible. If you, let's see if we can see a bit of her leg. It really kind of hard to get in there. Okay. Just trying to show you. If you made her lower body invisible, by clicking that, her whole body would be invisible. Lower body. Okay. But we've set the alpha, and you can see it doesn't matter that we had this black outline here. It doesn't matter. And then you click save, and we can close that. And now it's going to have her wear the alpha. It's rebaking it. And now it's been rebaked. And let me make sure. Gotta make sure I put on a bra. Before I take this off, because this is YouTube, and if it's not on there, and I take my shirt off to show you, there we go. There it is. Luckily I remembered to put the bra on, otherwise we'd get in trouble with YouTube. So now you can see that we are actually wearing the alpha that we made, and if there was any poke through issues as she's changing her shape, it would be invisible. And this is also where let's put her in the T-pose. Okay. If we come here to appearance, and this is that under skin tint, you have the alpha mask level. Okay. This is so that people can adjust the alpha mask. See, now I used a pretty sharp. I didn't really use that much of a fade in when I made the alpha mask. So this is where people can adjust the alpha mask level if they need to adjust it for some reason. They can do that. Didn't have much effect on this one because I used a pretty sharp brush that didn't have a lot of fade in it, and I didn't feather it in Photoshop or anything like that. and so there's not, it wasn't going to make that much of a difference in the adjustment. And so yeah, so if we can come back here and we go to athletic 1.1, okay, and I can put on, there's the halter top, just double click on it, put on my pants back on, and you can see that's what a finished alpha mask looks like. If you rig your clothes well enough, and sometimes no matter how much you try, when you rig your clothes, you're just going to get some poke through. It all depends on where your edge loops and your vertices were placed on your mesh clothing. You know, Control-Shift-R. It just depended on your edge loops that you had and where they were placed. So sometimes, no matter how well you rig, you might end up with some poke through. And so that's why an alpha mask is really great and important to give to your customers. So we try to make it as easy as possible to make an alpha mask. So awesome. So that's the end of this video. I hope you liked it, and really it took me much longer to make the video than it would have been to actually just make the alpha mask. Once you do it once or twice, you'll get it down in just a few minutes. So awesome. So have a great day, and we'll see you soon.